Alright, good morning, y'all. Just real quick before we get started, of course, we got the picture of Nikola Jokic surrounded by three Timberwolves, but we'll get into that more in a moment. Just wanted to take a moment real quick to give a shout out to my two newest subscribers here in Willis Academy of Higher Learning, as well as George Davis II. Just wanted to give you two guys a real quick shout out. Thank you for the subs, and welcome on board to the network. Of course, with that in mind, we'll just go ahead and get started here. And of course, I think it's pretty obvious where we're going with the subject matter. I gotta tell you, I'm at a bit of a loss right now with this because, I didn't think things were going to be quite like this as far as this series was concerned. Game 2, which I believe was Tuesday night, if I recall. I'm not real sure. It was either Monday or Tuesday night. I want to say it was Tuesday night, but either way, it just wasn't good. It wasn't good. I don't really remember much about it because one thing I do want to point out real quick as we go along, of course you noticed I didn't post a whole lot the last couple of days. That's just based on some sleep issues that I have, but hopefully I appear rested enough. I'm kind of figuring that out. I'm working my way through a few things with that, so hopefully that'll make a difference here with this and other upcoming videos. But getting right to the point, though, the picture here just doesn't do it justice. It's almost as if the Nuggets have been overwhelmed. I'm not really sure any other way to look at it. And I gotta harken back to just a couple of discrepancies that I thought about, and I'm looking over here at the Nuggets roster. Certainly hurts no longer having a Jeff Green and a Bruce Bowen, for one thing. I think that both of those guys have definitely given the Nuggets something. Oops, I didn't mean for that to be there. I guess that's a bit of a spoiler as far as where we're going with that, but where we're going with this video. But it's a little interesting to see this being as crazy as it is to this point. I've never seen this happen quite like this to a world champion. I've seen champions come in the next season not do so well, probably even get swept in some cases, if they even make the playoffs. It really just depends on the situation. I'm not going to go into all of those. One thing that I can say that for certain is it feels as if Karl Anthony Towns has pretty much outplayed Nikola Jokic on numerous fronts. I don't know any other way to look at that. And what makes it so bad is you've already got to factor in guys like Anthony Edwards. Obviously, it's just crazy what we're starting to see from him now. And of course, it's not just those two. And then of course they did what they did the other night without Rudy Gobert. Congrats to him, new father and all. But I think where I'm really going with this is it's like there's just a collective effort from this. A lot of the things that we were seeing last year from the Nuggets that we thought we'd see a bit more of this year, we're seeing from the Wolves, but a little differently. You've got guys like Kyle Anderson, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, KD McDaniels are all just swarming in, just making all these plays, and it's just remarkable with what we're seeing right now. They've just taken it to the Nuggets to an extent that, it's just real wild to think about, especially given the fact that, this guy right here playoff Jamal at, if we're gonna call it that. I know a lot of dudes are talking about playoff mode ain't a thing or whatever. Alright, fine, cool. You know what, I don't particularly have a problem with that so much, but I mean, this man over here getting fined 100 large just for throwing a heating pad on the court, which is really understandable because you know, you're endangering your fellow players. You probably could have caused an injury to one of your teammates for all you know. I mean, fortunately, that wasn't the case at all for either side. But, I mean, what the fuck are you even thinking? You know, I mean, this just goes to show how shaken things seem to be with the Nuggets right now. And I don't know if this is something that they're necessarily going to recover from. I mean, they lost both home games, and they're going to Minnesota where the crowd is just going to be nuts. I mean, I don't know. It's just not looking so good. But unless Jamal Murray, amongst others, can find a way to turn it on and mount one of the greatest comebacks we've seen in a long time, I'm not really sure that I see anyone stopping the Timberwolves at this point. You know, I would like to think the Nuggets could still get a win out of that, but that's even because this man can only do so much, and that's even after being named the 2024 NBA MVP. Now, I find this really, really interesting because you know, there's been a lot of talk about why wasn't it Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, you know? I mean, I can understand where that would be the stronger argument, especially given the fact that, at least for me, my vote goes to Anthony Edwards at this point. I don't know how you deny him, you know? It's just... And... Again, I get it. The Thunder got the number 1 overall seed, but they're basically within a game of one another between the Nuggets, the Thunder, and the Timberwolves. You know, and that it's literally all in that order as far as the seeding is concerned. I don't have a problem with Joker getting the MVP so much. It's just kind of wild that he's getting it, given the fact that, you know, he might not even see the celebration on his home floor. I mean, they put him over on the pregame show for TNT. I believe that was Wednesday night. No, it was Tuesday night, excuse me. So that would have been Monday that they got shellacked by the Wolves in Game 2. But, I mean, I just don't know if I see a scenario where if the Nuggets even force a Game 5 where, you know, there's going to be a whole lot that Joker, Jamal, MPJ, or any of these dudes seem to be ready to do at this point. And, yeah, I mean, I don't think the fans are going to get to celebrate this. I hate to say it. I want to be wrong about that, but it's not looking so good. And speaking of things not looking so good, of course, the news of the day yesterday, Frank Vogel was fired from the Phoenix Suns. This is really, really wild to me. I think I've been on here plenty of times talking about how I feel as if the whole situation with Doc Rivers and the whole Milwaukee Bucks coaching situation was just done completely wrong. But all the same, one thing that I will say about this is I just would like to think somewhere along the way this could be figured out for the Phoenix Suns, because I actually do like that team. Of course, the ties that I do have to Arizona sports, you know, significant enough. My mom also being an Arizona sports fan. Happy Mother's Day, by the way. Won't be the last time I say that, of course, but, you know, it just... it's just kind of concerning, because I can't talk about the whole thing that I said about LeBron with the whole one head coach every 3-year average thing. I just, it wouldn't be appropriate for me to talk about that if I didn't talk about this as well, especially where it's concerning KD. Now, I don't know that he's necessarily going through as many coaches. He probably is, could be more. But at the same time, just the fact that things souring as much as they did between him and Frank Vogel really isn't a good thing. I gotta wonder at this point, is it really going to be a good idea for the Suns to keep Kevin Durant around? I mean, they chose him over Frank Vogel, Is this really the move? And now they're talking about bringing in Mike Budenholzer. They wanted Tyronn Lue, which I guess is possible now, but is it more likely that Tyronn Lue ends up with the Lakers? I mean, these are things that I'm not really sure why they're happening the way that they are, but yeah, I'm not really sure what else to say. Didn't mean for everything to be as Nuggets heavy as it was, but it's kind of hard to not make it that way. I mean, we're getting Game 3 tonight, and I'm not really sure what to expect based on all these things, and yeah. Anyway, y'all know what it is. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you.